Do you feel like it's a line that comedians shouldn't cross, or is it just no holds bars? Anybody can get it. Anything is on the table.
As far as like being physical with people or just like talking about people?
I mean, as far as you being a comedian, saying a certain joke about a certain group of people in general, or even a specific person in the crowd, or
Um, I think in today's cancel culture, you kind of have to be cognizant of it. I think honestly, if it's not funny, that's where you get in trouble. If you really think about it, like a lot of this stuff, even with Dave, that's why. Well, one, you can't cancel Dave because he doesn't rely on outside networks and other shit to like pay him for it. Dave does what he wants to do. Like he don't care about getting movie roles and shit like that. Like he's the goat. He just do whatever. I do shows and people, his crowd gonna show up where he show up anyway. It doesn't matter what he say. But also with some of the things that he said and things that he's gotten in trouble for, it was funny. Like I mean, more people thought it was funny than not. That's usually how that end up going. But so if you say something tasteless and it's just tasteless and it ain't funny, then it's kind of tough. Me personally, dip. I don't really go into things that are too far outside of myself. Like I don't really talk a lot about politics. I don't talk about politics at all. I don't talk about just like I'm not a current events person. I feel like I gotta get through all the material about me, my life, my interactions, my experiences, the things I see. I got so much stuff to get through and like make strong out of that it'll be a long time before I start doing like current event stuff and like get into that. Like and even then that just keeps me out of like that. To me it's more organic for me to really develop the muscle of stand up by doing that first, and then I can get into that, because then if I walk down a certain path down the line of my career, I know how to get off that path and not put myself in a world of trouble. So, I mean, it depends, but there are definitely things in today's world that you couldn't, like, Bernie. If you look at some of the old Bernie Mac clips, man, Buddy would have been canceled 17 times over. And at that time, we didn't budge, especially as black people. That's just a part of our family. Like if you say retarded or if you say slow, or we all have a family member like that, and some of those family members be laughing at the jokes too. Like we just treat that stuff differently. So it's very different with today's culture and seeing how much it's like making a difference in people's careers. So I personally just don't even, not that I'm like purposely trying to stay away from it. I just got so much other material that I would rather do anyway that I find funny about me, that makes it easier about me and easier to talk about than doing any of that stuff anyway.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Now I can ask you this as a comedian, like doing stand up. How do you prepare for a show? Because like you might look at like basketball, they might do some drills or some layups, or a boxer might spar, or some people might stretch or do whatever. Is it anything that you do like before each and every show to help you prepare for the crowd?
Yeah, it depends on the show, man. If it's like, like this weekend, I'm with Tony for 5 shows. When you opening for certain people or you just opening in shows like this, like I never just go up there blind. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm not at that level yet. So I definitely, the night before, a couple of days before, like I'll take a look at my sets. I'll look at my set, look at what jokes I want to do. So I have an idea of what I'm gonna do when I go on stage. I have kind of like the framework. I never go up there blind, and I usually, anytime I'm working with somebody again, if they see me the last time, I always try to come back with like new stuff on top of stuff that I was doing. So because then I'm not doing that just because I'm seeing them, but it's just like me working. But also it makes me better because it's like forcing me to write. You know what I'm saying? Because writing can get cumbersome sometimes, and coming up with stuff that's new or making something stronger can be tough. Um, so yeah, I definitely look at my set maybe the day before, the day of, or maybe a couple hours before the show. And if there's anything new that I added, or if there's anything that I'm trying to like get off during the show, I definitely rehearse it, just because I like to be, when I rehearse stuff and I'm comfortable, that's when I'm dangerous personally. So I rehearse stuff. But then, it depends on if I'm featuring or if I'm hosting. Like featuring is very different than me hosting. Like me featuring, I pride myself on having a crowd work skill set. So I always try to get the crowd warm, but doing little stuff about whatever's happening in the neighborhood or what's, organic to the crowd. But I usually don't know that until I get there. So one of the things that I do, and I learned this from one of my OGs, Mark Gregory, is I don't just sit in the green room before the show starts. I always like getting to the show early so I can see who walking in. I can see what people wearing. I can see who's sitting in the front row. And then when even once they get seated, I'll come and stand like at a certain spot so I can see who near the stage because you can only see so far outside into the crowd. So I'm not gonna pick or talk about anybody that's too far out there unless it's something crazy that everybody saw. But usually I'll look and see what I see, and then I'll have about 5 or 10 things in my mind ready to rattle off when I get on stage, depending on what's going on when I get up there. So that's usually like the first part of my set, and then the back half is like my set material. And so I prepare for it that way, just so I can make sure that I'm on my game when I get there.
Yeah, that make a lot of sense. That's smart, man. Let me see. We're about 25 minutes in. I got maybe let me see one more question. Do you have any advice, or what would you tell somebody they love comedy? They feel like this what they want to do. Maybe they don't know.
They don't know.
Yeah, maybe they just don't know. Should they go for it, or I don't know. As a comedian, I guess because I'm not a comedian. But do you have any advice for anybody that's trying to get into the world of comedy?
You just gotta do it, bro. There's no shortcuts. You just gotta do
Hmm.
it. You just gotta do it, man. Like it's just you got to get on stage if you want to do it. Find whatever open mics are in your area, just start getting on stage. Once you start getting those reps, I feel like for me, once I started finding the open mics, when you go to open mics, you meet other comedians. The other comedians tell you what other things are going on, other shows, other so you just kind of start perpetuating and building a network, and then you start getting around more and more comedy. Just be around comedy, go to shows, network. But the biggest thing is you got to do it. You got to work on the craft. You have to go to shows. You got to go to open mics. You got to put yourself in the world of comedy in order for the world of comedy to be your world. So it's just a matter of getting on stage, bro. That's all you have. Once you start getting on stage, how your path goes, how your path go. I mean, everybody's different, but you just gotta, you gotta hone the craft.
Yeah, that definitely make a lot of sense. So man, yeah, it's been a great episode. I really appreciate you
I
coming to
appreciate.
the platform.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, man. I
No
appreciate
doubt.
you out, man. That's dope.
Right, right. Keep grinding, man. Now for the viewers who want to follow you, do you have a website, social media, any upcoming shows?
Yeah, man. You can follow me on Instagram at mo_funny. You can follow me on TikTok, mo_funny, and YouTube, Mo Hill Comedy. Um, I got 5 shows this weekend in Tampa Bay, and then next weekend I'm at Monday Rays on Monday in LA, and then after that I'm in New York, and I think maybe Cincinnati. I can't remember, but yeah. So those are my upcoming weeks right now. But I post all my shows and show dates that I have coming up on social media. So follow me on Instagram, and you'll get all those dates.
Man, that's a blessing. You get to travel and do what you love and get paid. You know what I'm saying? Keep up the great work, King. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. It's been another phenomenal episode of Taye Speaks. So until next time, family, we out. Peace.
Appreciate y'all.
Thanks, bro.